Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're going to have a discussion about having no faith. So if you're interested, stay tuned, and as always, I'm going to pray for you at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. Okay, many times we've heard the phrase, "Oh ye of little faith, small faith," but not very much we heard no faith. And it's very, very interesting to hear that the disciples had no faith. Many times we would say, "Oh, well, they had to have faith." Yes, but in this regard, they received an instruction and they didn't follow through because they didn't believe on the instruction. I'm going to take us to Mark 4, and I'm going to start to read where Jesus gave them the instructions to cross over to the other side. And in verse 35, it says, "On the same day when evening had come, he said to them, 'Let us cross over to the other side.'" Very important to receive an instruction so that your faith will be because you have received an instruction. And it's very important. And then we hear how the boat was filled with water and Jesus was sleeping on his pillow, relaxed, comfortable. He wasn't afraid of the storm. And many times when storms arise, that is when our faith is tested. And verse 39, "Then he arose and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, 'Peace, be still.' And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. But he said to them, 'Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith?'" How is it that you have no faith? I said, let's go to the other side. Yet they did not have faith because they were sinking. And in fact, if we just look at the situations today, I would say, well, I think that was a bit harsh to say, why didn't they have faith? Maybe they didn't know better. They didn't know the situation because they marveled at his authority. You see, because they didn't have the faith that they were supposed to have in him and in the instruction that he has given them, they turned over to fear. And that's what happens many times because we do not have the faith. We turn into fear. We hear of things of recessions and financial difficulties and sickness and hunger and all of those things. The question is, what are you going to do about that? Don't fear. If the Lord says, we're going to go over to the other side, even if it's on a pillow, if the boat sinks, he'll most probably be floating on his pillow because he said we will go over to the other side. But the question for you today is, are you going to choose faith or are you going to choose fear? And many times we can say, we did not know. Therefore, when you receive an instruction, pray to get clarity so that your faith will be strong, because then your faith is not in your ability or in the circumstances around you. Many times we wait for circumstances to be favorable, but it's the same as a farmer that waits to see is there going to be enough rain before he plants. Well, then it will already be too late. He needs to plant and believe that there will be enough rain for the growth period. And therefore we put our trust in the Lord. Many times we don't have control, but that's why we need faith. Father, I pray today that our faith will be strong and secure, but help us that we will not be caught with no faith, but when we receive the instruction that we will trust in you, in your ability, because you have given the instruction. I thank you for allowing us and giving us grace to live in your freedom. I thank you for your love and I thank you for your mercy. And I thank you that even though our faith is not always sufficient, that you still help us. And I thank you for that in the name of Yeshua. Be blessed.